but there's so many testimonies everywhere you look. There's people from different walks of life that are completely coming in and changing their bank account, their status, their family situation because of Family First Life.
Super excited to be with you guys today. The cool thing about going last, right? You gotta hit all the topics that everybody else has gone over already, but we're gonna bring some new content for you guys. And we want to keep it super simple because I know this thing, sometimes we want to overcomplicate this thing and it slows everybody down in the long run. So guys, keep it simple. It could be, write this down too. I'm going to give you guys 10 key points to kind of go along with us. But I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. But again, guys, keep this thing simple for everybody. You want to grow a big business, a big agency. You want to keep it duplicatable for everybody coming on. But guys, a little bit about ourselves. My name is Josh Crenshaw. This is my wife, Alondra Crenshaw. They messed up on the advertisement. We'll get it right one of these days. But guys, we've been in the business for a little over 4 years now. It has been a blessing. We built so many great relationships. We had the opportunity to partner with Integrity Marketing Group. And guys, it's literally been a dream come true. But the first thing I kind of wanted to get into today, guys, number one, write this down. You got two muscles in the business, right? We got our selling and building muscle. And early on, guys, a little bit about our story. Guys, we were top heavy, right? You've seen the guys at the gym where they only work out and they got huge muscles up top and chicken legs. That was us in the business early on. We were the type that like, hey, we got to go make money. We got to generate income before we start sharing this thing with everybody. And guys, that might have been our biggest downfall early on. And I'm sure a lot of new agents coming on board probably feel the same way, right? They're like, hey, I got to have this thing A to Z. I got to know everything. I got to know all the carriers, the underwriting. I got to know how to get them contracted. And guys, that could be your biggest downfall early on, right? That's why we're in such a great team. We got such a great fit. And guys, we're so big now as a company and even different agencies we got out there that all you got to do is leverage the team. So if you're new or you're within your first 90 days, guys, you should be shouting on the rooftops about the opportunity that we got here at FFL. Because again, first 9 months in business, guys, we struggled big time, not only selling, but building. We didn't share the opportunity. We were embarrassed about what we were doing, right? We had a lot of people that were like, hey, you guys are doing that life insurance thing. Like, how's it going so far? Like, are you guys making a ton of money? I see everybody else doing it big. Where are you guys at? And for us, guys, we were super self-conscious, working at the restaurant, barely getting by. And we're like, how can we go share that we're doing that? And we're still barely getting by paying our bills at the restaurant. And guys, that was the wrong mindset to have. And I think a lot of people right now probably aren't seeing the results personally that they need to see yet to start sharing the opportunity. But guys, don't be top heavy in this business. You want to build these muscles equally from day one. Because again, I'm just seeing a couple faces on the call. If my upline and mentor, Stephen Yee, guys, I don't need to know everything. I'm a bring someone on, plug them in with Stephen, and they're going to help me build my agency from day one, right? Same thing. We got Albert Lau, Trey Honeycutt, all these great leaders within our agency and our company. Guys, this is the easiest thing to build. All you got to do is get out of your own way and share the opportunity from day one. Benjamin, you hit it on the head. Leverage the team, leverage what we got, right? And that's something, again, if I could go back and start this thing all over 4.5 years ago, from day one, I wouldn't have waited. We wouldn't have waited until we're like, hey, we're seeing income coming in. We're making a lot of money. But I knew the next month we started at ground zero, right? And sometimes it can get a little overwhelming because, guys, let's say one of us got sick in the business or we had to take a couple of weeks off. Guys, the income stops at that point because we didn't have the equal muscle groups. We weren't building the same time. So again, guys, two muscles in this business, selling and building, do both from day one.
Yeah, I think just to kind of piggyback on Josh, it is super important. I think it's almost intimidating. Like a lot of people are like, a lot of people aren't used to working with agencies, or teams or people in general, but we're used to working a 9 to 5. So the thought of bringing someone on when you're still unsure if this is going to work for you, it's just a lot mentally. And I think where we're at now, like as a company, there is so many resources, so many boot camps. There's so many people, different people that are winning from different walks of life, that it's so easy to just bring someone on and it's like, hey, I'm figuring this stuff out. This is something that's brand new to me. But Stephen E, Zach Twardowski, Frank Euphemia, they can help you. They're the ones helping me. Like, come figure out this thing with me. And I think at the beginning, we thought we had to have it all figured out. We thought we had to go help everybody, show them that this thing was real. But there's so many testimonies everywhere you look. There's people from different walks of life that are completely coming in and changing their bank account, their status, their family situation because of Family First Life. And that's where you have to take a step back. And that goes on to like the next topic of just don't be selfish. It's very selfish that you trying to wanting to figure it out before everybody else.
And guys, it's a little story real quick. I'm horrible with tools, guy. I'm that guy that can't build anything. I think me and Steve were talking about this the other day. Like, if you want a picture hung, like I'm calling my father-in-law, right? Like, he's the best at like doing the manly man stuff, right? But I still need it done. So it's like when building a business, right? Like, I know Alondra, she's an Amazon shopper. For all my husbands, I got wives, right? She shops on Amazon all day long. We get doorbell rings all day long. My ring's going off, right? But we got a patio set and it had like 1,000 pieces. It was like an erector set. And for me, I'm like, dude, this is the last thing I want to be doing, right? But I know it still needs to be done. Like, we got to get this thing going for our house. So what I'm gonna do? Am I better off just thugging it out and doing it on my own and spending 12 hours building this thing? Or should I leverage the team, leverage the people that I have in my corner to help me build this thing? It's the same thing with building an agency, right? Guys, there's going to be tough days, there's going to be ups and downs, but the more people you get involved in your circle and building this thing together, on your bad days, there's going to be people you can lean on within your team that are going to make the bad days not so bad anymore. So I think that's super important. But guys, so number 2, don't be selfish. Number 3, guys, Trey Honeycutt told me this early on and it stuck with me. Take one person a day that doesn't know about FFL to knowing about FFL. And again, it's so simple, but a lot of us don't do it, right? And again, this is something for all our new agents coming on board. We want to know, hey, I know you just started, but who else in your corner, who else do you know that needs to make an income that's barely getting by right now, right? Because guys, I think we at FFL, sometimes we forget how good we have it. And I think that's just the culture we built. It's a culture of winning. It's a culture of consistency. Everybody generating a great income, but sometimes we forget, guys, there's only 1% of the industries here at FFL, less than 1%. We're not doing our part in sharing the opportunity, taking people that, even if they are in the industry, they're in the service industry, they're working retail. Guys, there are so many people that forget how good we have it here. And I think us included, that's something we like to take a step back and realize, hey, 4 years ago, we were literally busting tables and serving just to make a paycheck. And I know, guys, we all know people in our social media and more markets that are barely getting by. They're barely paying the bills. They're maxing out credit cards around Christmas time just to buy gifts for their families. And that's something here at FFL, guys, we take the income we make for granted, right? And we want to take care of ourselves, which is, we got to do. But don't forget, there's people on the outside that are still starving for an opportunity like this. And again, quick story, guys, prior to FFL, I think I worked 12 different jobs in like a 10-month span. And I was begging for an opportunity like Family First Life. I knew there was something out there like this that I know I had the skill set. I knew I had the drive. I'm not the most talented by any means, but I know I worked hard, right? So guys, just make sure, again, take one person, even if it's your social media, your family, your friends, share the opportunity, because guys, once they get on board, it's going to reaffirm what you're doing at Family First Life. Because guys, I know we all have our ups and downs. We go 0 for 8 on, in the telesales or in the field. And early on, guys, I told her I wanted to quit like 14 times. but I knew I had her, and we had people coming on board that reaffirmed like, hey, I got to be strong for them. I got to be strong for the people that aren't seeing the fruits of their labor yet, right? And that's something we all need to do as well.
And just to touch on that, guys, it's just simple things of like, how many times do you go out to a restaurant and do you ask their server, you know, do you like what you do? Is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? You're really talented. And I got that from Jordan Lowry, where every time we've been around Jordan Lowry, he's interviewing right there his Uber driver, anyone who serves him, anyone who gets his bag, absolutely anyone. And that's just like a self-reflection on like, I'm not doing that enough. Like, how many people am I coming to interact with, stores and anything that you can think of, and I'm not sharing the opportunity, not just on social media, just your everyday people that work really, really hard. They're just unfortunately in the wrong situation that can put their family in a really good situation if they put that work ethic where, you know, here, what I love about this company and is that the people who work the hardest are the ones that are getting paid the most. So if you're getting paid really well, it just means you're working your butt off. It doesn't matter who hired you, where you're come from, who your upline is. It's such a simple system and it's so duplicatable. All you have to do is show up and put in the work.
And guys, the fourth point, be consistent writing like on your personal pen and sharing the opportunity on your social media, right? If you're like us and you're starting out, guys, we didn't have a bunch of income to reinvest back into the business. We were barely still trying to get by, catch our footing in the business. There's a lot of people that are doing the same thing. But the great thing now, guys, we have such a great infrastructure and a nucleus of people within this group. We can leverage other people's stories to share on our social media in our warm market platforms. And that's something, again, I think sometimes we take the foot off the gas, right? We say, dang, everybody in our stories already seen what we're doing. They would have come by now. Guys, sometimes it's the people that are watching our things. It's the right opportunity, but it's the wrong time. I still have people reaching out to me on social media now, 4 years later, that are like, Josh, I see you're still doing the insurance thing. You guys are doing really well and your team's doing really well. Do you guys still have an opportunity for new people to come on board? And guys, you'd be surprised. Like, don't do a month of, you know, sharing on your social media, your Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagrams, and feel like, hey, I've squeezed this thing dry. Like, guys, you haven't. I promise you haven't. You just got to share, stay consistently sharing, because guys, 90% of our business right now was built off warm market, and it's continued to be based off warm market. It's people that we've brought on, and then we dig into their warm market and get them going and generated and excited about the business. So, and guys, writing, I think this is something we don't talk about enough. We're all about, hey, you know, who do you know? Who do you want to get into the business? You got to go make money too. You got to go generate an income. And guys, that's not going to come from your overrides. You're not going to retire off your overrides in your first year in business. And I think a lot of people, they're like, hey, I'm going to build a huge agency. I'm going to do a pig. I'm going to hire with spread. And guys, we just never sell and we never get consistent in your pen. Guys, if you've never sold at a high level, how are the people that you're bringing on going to be confident in what you're showing them and what doing? And you got to do it. You got to live it. You got to breathe it. And again, this is something Andrew Taylor said to us day one or early on in the business. He said, you got to get a little unbalanced in this thing. And I think a lot of people, they leave their W-2 job and they come to FFL and they want to keep the balance, right? We want to work our 30 to 40 hours and see a triple income from our W-2 pay. Guys, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. For us, you know, again, our first year in business, we treated it extremely part-time. We treated it as a hobby, and it paid us as a hobby. And we felt that. And the next year, seeing everybody go on stage at convention, getting their red jackets, and we're like, why is this person better than us? What are they doing more that we're not doing? And guys, the simple word is that they're just working more. They want it more than us. And guys, it's shown day in and day out. If you're consistent showing up and working and really getting ahead of this thing, and guys, selling on your own pen, that's going to be the easiest way to build a business. Because guess what? When I reach out to someone like Albert Lau, and I said, Albert, I think you'd be a great fit for what we're doing over here at Family First Life. I'd love to talk to you about the opportunity. A lot of people are blunt and straight up, and they say, hey, I hear you, Josh. What are you making per month? And guys, early on, what we were able to do, we were able to show bank statements one-on-one with people, right? And they were like, dude, hell yeah, I'm in, I'm coming over. I'm definitely not generating that income where I'm at right now. My serving job's paying me, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I can definitely double, triple that here at FFL if I put in the right work and the right consistency. So again, guys, lead from the front with your pen and be consistent on social media, guys. Those are the, again, selling and building, the two muscle groups. You got to be working them hand in hand.
With for me, the hardest thing that was the consistency part is I never knew what it was like to work for myself. And we're always used to going in somewhere and clocking in. So for me, the thing that I was relaying, it's like, how do I build that consistency? How do I build that muscle? Well, for me, when I was competing, I used to do shows, and I'm like, okay, so the thing that helped me show up to the gym every single day, even when I didn't want to, was knowing that I had to go on the stair machine and I had to post a picture that I did my 30 minutes every morning. Every morning, first thing in the morning, before I got my day, I was posting. So, because I thought people were watching me. People are watching you. Everybody's watching you. Like, you can't miss a single day. So, and that allowed me to show up even when I didn't want to, because subconsciously I was thinking that people were watching me not going to the gym. So I always felt like I absolutely need to go, and it helped me with that. I was like, what if I relate that into this business? I that same discipline, even when I don't want to show up, I'm posting. And that's where kind of building on social media and posting, that's where I kind of helped how it started, but really it just started for me. Like, I got on there and I would post anytime I was in the office. Every time I got my lead, at the end of my dial days, I would post how many appointments I had. I would just post my activities, selfies with clients every single day. I wanted to just post, again, because people knew that I had started this. I had posted that I was doing this insurance thing, and I didn't want them to know that I quit. And I needed to do it subconsciously to help me build that discipline, build that muscle of, I got to keep showing up. This is what it's like working the full day hours. Like, I had to do that for myself. And in turn, it helped our agency. It helped me build that platform of people finding me on social media. Now everybody knew that Alondra was doing insurance. Alondra's still doing that thing. It's still working out for her. She's still posting her results. She's going everywhere and posting it. Like, people naturally start reach out to you. So sometimes, like, I was very shy. I was like, I don't know how to reach out to people. I don't know how to just message them. But with me being disciplined, like me posting in that consistency, people were naturally posting because I was normalizing the work. I wasn't acting like I was some like badass that is only I can do this. I'm like, I'm not anybody special. I'm just showing up every single day. I'm being there. I'm consistent. And that's what at the end of the day, people want. People want to follow people that they can trust, because it's scary for a lot of people jumping into something new with everybody around you telling you you're crazy, go get your stability, where are your benefits? Like, that's our society that we live in. Everybody around us this is not normal that we have to do. So it's our job to normalize this thing, explain to people this is work, but it will be the best paying job for you if you go to work.
Guys, fifth point, 20 families protected, hire staff. And I think this is something, again, we don't talk about enough. A lot of people just rely on my manager staff or my VP staff. Guys, if you want to build a profitable agency, you want to build a profitable business, you need to have your own staff. And guys, that happens when you protect 20 families a month. Because guys, what that's going to indirectly do, and hear me on this, indirectly, it's going to cause you to work harder. It's going to cause you to show up on the days you don't want to show up. Because guess what? I have a staff member that depends on me generating an income, right? And guys, give me a 5 if you've heard Sean say this before. Don't chase the volume. You never want to be chasing the volume, right? And that's something he always said early on to us. He said, you want to be ready for when you start hiring at a high level. You don't want to be chasing down staff. You don't want to be chasing down, trying to find good people to work for you. You already want to have them in place. So when you start bringing on great people, it actually feels like a business. Because again, I'm saying, hey, perfect, my staff's going to reach out to you in 5 minutes. They're going to go over the contracting process and get you taken care of. Guys, people feel more confident in what you're doing. It feels like a real business. And guys, you're going to start treating it more like a real business. Because I think that's when our business changed too. Again, we didn't have a huge team when we brought on our first full-time staff member, we were like, hey, this is what we're being told to do. We need to go do it. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. I know Andrew Taylor's not where he's at by just doing his own thing and creating new objectives to do every day, right? He's following the path that Sean Mike's laid out for all of us, right? Get a staff when you write your first 20 families. I promise it'll change your business. And again, you want people to come on board ready to go. And guys, if you're selling at a high level, 20, 30, 40 families a month, it's going to be hard for you to walk agents through, an onboarding process, sending prosperity links, getting them going on the normal day-to-day stuff. You want them to feel confident that when they're ready to go and they have their carrier codes, you can jump into the sales process with them and train them from day one. But guys, get staff when you protect 20 families.
And a lot of people think that like they start thinking about the expense of having your first staff, but really you have to look at it like they're actually saving you money. Why I mean that, because if staff is able to go through all your pending policies, make sure stuff's going on with the carrier. They're doing the stuff that's not making you money to allow you to keep doing your money making activities, whether that's helping agents selling or you personally selling yourself, both money making activities. Your staff is there to help with chargebacks come about, find the policy. Hey, this policy chargeback. Let's get a call with this client. Hey, this one, they never got their banking. We just need to update banking. Little things like that the staff is able to do, where a lot of the times it can fall through the cracks. If you're selling at a high level, and you also don't want to not sell at a high level because you're so busy doing all that other stuff. Sometimes it's just, hey, pay somebody to do that so I can focus on making more money.
Guys, write this down. Number 6, talk with every person that gets hired on your team personally. And this is something, again, I wish I did from day one, because guys, when you were hiring at a slower clip, right, it's easier to hop on Zoom one-on-one and spend 15 minutes kind of going over the gist of the business and really getting them comfortable and confident and getting them going, right? But guys, once you start getting bigger and your downlines start hiring people and the downlines of downlines start hiring people, this is something you want to do. Again, reach out, make it a quick phone call, make it a Zoom call. You want to have relationships with people that are on your team. I know the worst feeling for me, and I think some of you guys could agree with me on this, is when I see a new agent post their sale on Slack and they're in my base shop and I've never had a conversation with that agent, right? Or hey, when they have a chargeback and the first conversation I'm having with them is talking about, hey, I need you to take care of this chargeback. I need you to be on top of your business. That shouldn't be the first conversation that you're having with a new agent on your team. So again, take ownership of what you've built, even if it's someone that the third person down is brought on. Guys, make it a point to reach out to that person, because guess what? Maybe the upline that brought them on will fizzle out in 60 days. Maybe they're not in business, right? But if that person below them comes out the gate strong and they're protecting 20, 30 families a month, I don't want the first conversation to have saying, hey, Matt, I see you went out and crushed it. You protect 20 families a month. Just wanted to introduce myself, blah, blah, blah. It's a bad look, right? You want to be there from day one, letting them know, hey, I have your back. I'm here to support you. I can't wait to see the excitement and the energy you bring to the team. Make sure you're plugged in, just so, again, I can recognize you and the team can recognize you. But again, guys, make sure you are talking to every single person that comes on in your team. In the long run, short term, guys, it might not seem like a big deal, but I promise you later on, when that person either blows up or they fizzle out in the business, it's easier for me to reach out to an agent and say, hey, Steve, I know when you came on board, you said you needed to generate this income for your family. I know you wanted to put your kids in sports and you weren't able to do that with your W-2 job. From when you started to now, what's changed? What does that look like in your business? What can we do better to help you to get to that next point? So guys, build relationships. Don't be transactional, because I know a lot of people, when we get big, we think this thing is, oh, it's just an override, or hey, what spread do I got on that person? No, guys, every single person that comes on board needs this thing. And when you lead with your heart, guys, things tend to end up better when you lead with your heart and you have actual conversations that mean stuff in the beginning.
Number 7, not everyone is going to be a right fit. I feel like a couple of years ago, we hired everyone with a pulse. Anybody who wanted to join, we said, here, sure, here's your contracting. never got on the phone with them, never got on Zoom with them. We just sent them, and it kind of backfired. We grew a lot, but unfortunately a lot of bad apples were hidden in there. And I think now that as a whole of FFL, everybody is just more careful with who we're hiring. We almost want to like scare people off. We kind of don't want them to come work with us. We want to tell them how hard it's going to be instead of how easy this is going to be and anybody can do this. And that's where it's going to help weed out a lot of people much faster. Why do we want to have them waste all the time going through all their licensing if they're not going to do anything, right? So we want to set up the expectation of like, what are your results that you want to have? Like, what do you want to accomplish? More so interviewing guys. And we want to know if that's someone that you're going to be able to trust in your agency, someone that's going to take your advice. You want to just know that they're going to trust you and that you trust them. If you don't trust them and you just don't feel like it, it's okay to turn people around, turn people down and not hire them. You know, at the end of the day, you want to work with people that you enjoy talking to, right? And if you just don't feel like it's going to be a good fit, you don't have to hire everybody.
And guys, for example, I'm gonna share this, but I had an agent that we brought on board last week, and I had a conversation with him. Great phone call, 20 minutes, everything was good. He shot me a text and I didn't get back for like an hour or two. And the agent texted me and said, what's the usual response time on the text? And I was like, I don't know if this guy might be the right fit for me working with one-on-one, right? If someone's rubbing you a certain way, connect them with someone in your downline. And guys, there's nothing wrong with that, right? If someone's gonna vibe better with someone else, by all means, I still want them on the team, but maybe not working directly with me, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But again, if you're having those conversations early, one-on-one, talking to every single agent, guys, and they're like, hey, well, you know, my state test is like $80 and they can't afford to take the test. Maybe this isn't the fit for right now, right? Maybe we just better set the expectation like, hey, the onboarding process, getting licensed, fingerprints, all that's going to roughly be about $200 to $300. And then you're going to need to invest in your business at a certain clip each and every week to be a consistent writer, right? If that agent can't do that, maybe again, this isn't the wrong opportunity. It's just not the right time for that person. But again, I would rather be honest and transparent with that agent coming on board and say, hey, you know, Matt, this is what it looks like. You know, maybe what I would recommend, save up a little more money. We can get you going in 30, 60, 90 days. And at that point, you can be able to invest in your business and have a chance at being successful early on. But I've had agents tell me, Josh, I really do appreciate you telling me that, instead of going through the whole process, getting their hopes up. And then we're like, hey, this is what dial day looks like. This is the leads you need to have. This is what we need to have to be successful. And they don't have the income to do that. So again, be transparent, be honest from day one. But again, not everybody's going to be the right fit at the time you hire them. Number 8, guys, this was a big one for us. Have a separate bank account for your business, right? And again, it drives me nuts when agents on day one, we haven't made any money, we've protected no families. They're like, Josh, do I need an LLC? Do I need how many bank accounts do I need? I need you to go make money. I need you to go generate an income for you and your family. But I think, guys, later on down the road, when you start protecting 20, 30 families a month, when you start, making consistent money, you do want to have 2 separate bank accounts, right? Because again, early on for us, guys, and again, being transparent, there was a number I saw on our bank account and I'm like, babe, we ain't going below that. We ain't buying leads until that number goes above that number, right? We worked too hard, right? But guys, once you start separating the bank accounts, that money's not our money, right? For 9 months, that's a loan from the insurance carrier. When you move that money to that business account, guys, it's no longer our money. I no longer am emotional about that money that I moved, right? Because I know the money, being transparent, we barely got by as servers. So I'm not trying to elevate my lifestyle overnight, but I do need to stay in business. I do need to stay profitable. And for me, that was becoming unemotional about the number that I had in my bank account. And that really changed when I was able to get paid on America. I woke up Monday, we got the statement, Tuesday, we got paid. I'm able to move that to my business bank account and I'm back at zero, right? I know I can't just go buy those shoes I wanted for $200. It's not the best, investment for my business. Because if I didn't have it in my personal account, I didn't have any business going to purchase that. So again, once you start generating a consistent income, guys, go create 2 bank accounts. And once you get further along ahead, guys, then you have the conversation with your VP about setting up LLCs and S Corps and all that great stuff. But day one, coming on board with no income in the bank, guys, that is the last conversation we need to be having. But generate income, be consistent, write 20K, then go talk with your upline and separate those bank accounts.
And guys, I mean, we were in the business together, so we understood. I can only imagine how much harder it is for agents who have spouses, have significant others, and they're seeing all this money come in, but they don't understand why there's so much coming out, right? They're not really involved. They kind of don't understand it. Having this is going to save you also a lot of hard conversations with your significant other, because maybe they're not going to be questioning you. Well, why do you have to spend $1,000 on leads? Like, why can't we just go spend this? If they don't know, you know, they're not going to help like derail you when you're just kind of getting started in the business. You don't understand it. Like, this is an emotional roller coaster that you have to ride, and it is hard enough until you figure out your rhythm, your consistency. To have outside sources also influencing you, it can literally make or break you in this business. So a lot of the times, like, take your advice from people. That's what we did from very early on. Take advice from people who are where you want to be. If they're doing a certain something, or they're where they're at in life, and that's what you want, take all the advice from them. For us guys, it was Andrew Taylor. I was like, that's what I want for my life. That's what I want. And I'm going to be a sponge, and I'm going to listen to absolutely everything he said. So if he said, invest in this and go invest in this, try these different leads. It was easy, guys, because we had that separate bank account, and it wasn't Alondra's money. It was the house's money. And it's just, the house was just reinventing to go make more money. You do that more enough, and it makes sense, right? With the work. When Andrew would tell us, hey, go try these different leads, go try all these different things, we would have funds to go try it. The house would go do it. We would go put it, and then we'd see the results that we had. And we were like, wow, like, this is crazy. It's crazy how it works. The more money you put into this thing, the more money it makes. The harder you work, the better life that you can have with your family. So that's the biggest thing that I can leave you guys with, is definitely get a separate bank account.
All right, guys. Number 9, I'm going to use this one with an asterisk, but hire with spread. I think this was something we didn't talk about, again, early on. We're like, hey, hire everybody right below you. And again, this thing's going to grow like crazy. And it did, right? Early on, it did. But for now, if I was hiring a new agent, guys, and say you worked your comp up, you've been consistent in selling on your personal pen, and you've earned a compensation within your hierarchy, guys, you deserve to make a spread if you're hiring an agent brand new. Because guys, it is going to take your time. It is going to take your staff's time. These are resources you have to reinvest back into your newest agent coming on board. And guys, I'm going to be transparent. When we started an 80% comp, and we thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, right? We're like, this thing is legit. We're going to go make money. We, at our previous company, we started at 1/3 of that. Like, guys, 80% or 70 or 90, whatever you're bringing on agents, guys, it's a great comp. You're in the best platform, the best company with the best people. And guys, I don't know about you, but like, let's say I'm talking with an Andrew Taylor, and he said, Josh, I'm going to bring you on an 80% comp. Guys, I'm going to be juiced because I'm working with Andrew Taylor, right? I'm going to be juiced because I'm working directly with someone that knows exactly what they're doing. Because guys, how many people have had agents on their team that hire an agent with a 5-10 point spread, and then they leave them alone and they don't talk to them for 90 days, right? And then it makes the whole company look bad, because that's not a reflection of the company. That's a reflection of you being selfish, right? Because every agent we bring on board, guys, I want you guys to take more ownership of the people you bring on board. And guys, you should be compensated for what you're doing to get that agent profitable early on. And again, this is something we weren't talked about early on, but guys, if I work my compensation up to 100% comp, guys, I earn that comp. I earn that comp. You earn that comp. You shouldn't be giving away comp to the newest agent that's got no experience in the industry. You want to bring them on so where it financially makes sense for you to spend time with them, to get them going, to make sure they're comfortable, to make sure they're hopping on leads and getting on dial day with you and going one-on-one over the scripts. But guys, if I have a 5-point comp on a brand new agent and I'm still trying to be profitable in the business, it doesn't make too much sense for me to spend all this time going over everything in this business with that agent. So guys, build a spread. build a spread. I'm not going to go over an exact number, but whatever makes sense for you and your business so you can reinvest back into your time with agents and get them going. Because I'm sure every manager on this call could agree with me. The biggest expense in this business is turnover, right? Like I would hate to bring on 30 agents and then 2 of them stick. And I spent so much time going over everything with 30 agents. So again, invest on the front end with the agent, because I promise you're going to reap the benefit on the back end when they get going and get consistent.
And from a new agent perspective, I mean, it gives them from day one something to look forward to. I think for us, like very quickly, you're going to realize money is not a motivator. Like it's kind of like a byproduct of what we do. And for us, it allowed us to kind of like stay like focused on what's our next comp raise? Okay, we got a two months in a row. What is it that we have to issue pay? What do we have to do next month? What do we have to do that next month? That's what kind of kept us going. And we never looked at our bank account. We never were like, what we have to do. We wanted to reach to the highest comp as fast as possible. We were like, maybe I can surpass my upline. How does this work? I want to know what that is. And that's kind of like, it made it fun for us. And it just kept you that competitive drive going on. And I think very early on, if you just give away a comp like that, an agent doesn't know what it's like. An agent's not getting incentivized to get to a 140. Why would I get to a 140 if you already hired me on a 115? Like, that doesn't matter. Oh, that seems too hard. That doesn't seem reachable. Whereas if you start them like at an 80%, and it's like, you just have to issue pay $5,000 a month. That becomes easy and obtainable, and it just gets you wanting more and more. And by the time that you reach your 20 families protected a month, now you've built that consistency. And that's the hardest part in this business, is to get to 20 families protected a month. From there on, it's just building that consistency and that discipline. Once you're from 20 to scale 20 higher, you realize, hey, this is just 3 extra hours in the field, 3 extra hours on the phone. This is just, you look at your gaps and you're like, well, this is why these people are writing this much a month. They're working harder. Their days are longer than mine. I'm starting the day later. It's very easy to scale 20 up. The hardest thing is just to get to 20 families protected.
And guys, managers on the call, if you've hired someone, guys, and how many people have had someone try to go back and forth with you on comp, right? Hey, I think I can do this. I was really good at my previous sales job. I deserve this comp. Guys, typically those aren't the best people to work with, right? Like I want people that are, you know, happy to be here, ready to go, ready to make a change, ready to invest in their business. And guys, like for us, for example, when we came on board, we're like, again, this is the best thing ever. We got leads, like we can purchase leads and actually call them and go generate a sale without it being a friend or family member. Like, boom, I'm in, dude. I'm excited, right? And guys, how many managers have had conversations with an agent that was brought in too high? And the agent says, well, Josh, what do I need to do to get to that next level? And you show them that next level and they never even hit the level below that, right? It almost deflates them a little bit, because again, they're like, I'm not even doing the numbers I deserve to be at this compensation. So again, it's almost can be a win-win when you hire an agent at a comp they've earned, they deserve, right? But you're able to coach them and really, you know, just encourage them to get to that next comp, because it is super attainable, right? It's not 150,000 team volume and they got no agents under them, right? It's, hey, go write 10 families protected month in 2 months consecutively, and you can move up your next comp. So it gives the agent, again, something to shoot for. And guys, our last point, and thank you guys for sticking with us. Most importantly, reach out and reach up. We know this business can be so lonely. It can be sometimes, again, emotionally draining, financially draining if you're not doing the right things. But guys, instead of fizzling out in the business, you're here for a reason. This is the right opportunity. Family First Life is still the best platform I've seen to generate an income from, you know, go from a zero to a hero real quick, right? There's nothing that I've seen that Family First Life does. And again, you're talking to a guy that's got 20 credits at his junior college over an 8-year span. So I promise you, if we can do it, if other managers can do it, if top producers can do it, you can do it. But the only thing you need to do, you need to get good at reaching out. And what I'm talking about when I mean reaching out, not to complain about the leads, not to complain about, you know, my girlfriend dumped me. I'm talking about hey, Grady, I'm busting my ass on the phones. I dialed all day today. I booked 6 appointments. What do I need to do to get to that 15 appointment level? Hey, I only presented to 2 people today. What do I need to do to get to 8 presentations? Can you break that down? What does it look like? Because guys, I know if Alondra hadn't reached out to Andrew Taylor early on, and again, I'm not saying you got to reach out to Sean or reach out to your VP first, right? But guys, if we hadn't done that and drove out to Vegas early on and really got the building blocks on what we need to do to be successful early on, I don't know where we would be in business, right? Because it painted the picture, it painted the, we saw where he was, and we were like, the life we're living isn't going to get us to where we want to be. We need to double up, triple up. We need to get on balance. We need to go all in. And guys, having great people on our corner, Nina and Hayden, Stephen Yee, Sean Mike, Andrew Taylor, all these great people that we've connected with and made friendships with and business relationships with, guys, it really pays off in the long run. Because again, I think a lot of people, if you go out and you're a consistent writer, you don't reach out to the newest agent coming on board to ask what leads they're using, right? You want to reach out to the Hall of Fame producer that's protecting 50, 60 families a month and duplicate and replicate what they're doing. If you're an agency and you're at a VP level, you want to reach out to the people that are EVP and board member, because they're going to give you the next tips. And guys, typically you're a tweak off, that you're not a big way off from being, a Hall of Fame producer, a Hall of Fame agency. You just got to tweak small things in your business, but talk to people that are where you're at and where you're going, not where you've been.
And most importantly, guys, have fun with this. Like, enjoy your journey. Don't compare yourself to other people. It's very easy early on to compare yourself to the next Hall of Fame producer, everyone else popping off. Understand that this is your race. This is your race. This is your journey. And this is something you're figuring out. And the best thing you can do is stay positive and know, just like, be here 1 year from now, be here 1 year from now, and see how much better it is. If I look back at Alondra, who started my first year, I was like, imagine I would have just gave up. Like, what would have happened? And that's why everyone coming in, I always want every agent to know that I will always be here for you, because this may not be your time now. Just stick around long enough and it will be. Like, that was me. The first 9 months of the business, I was still working out of the restaurant. Like, I was in and out. I was not happy with my results, but I showed up enough. My belief level went up. We go to these conventions, we go to these sales conferences, you listen to people that are just winning in life, and you're like, isn't that anything special? Like, I can do that. If they can do that, I can do that, right? I just need to go put in the work that they're putting that I'm not putting in. It's a lot of self-reflection. It's how can I be better, and just enjoy the journey. This is so amazing. And I feel like a lot of the times we're always looking at like, well, I want to do this, I want to be here, I want to be here, that we forget about how good it is now. Like, you're doing great. Like, look where you were at your other job before, and look what you're doing now. Enjoy the journey, right? That's like my biggest takeaway that I can leave you guys with.
And last thing from me, guys, and again, thank you guys for staying with us the whole time. Really appreciate it. But connect your goals to people, connect your goals to family, connect your goals on what you guys are trying to do, the bigger picture. Because again, if you only put your goals on yourself, like, hey, I want to buy this car. Guys, once you get this car, that's going to be super deflating for you. Because again, it's a big picture, right? I was like, damn, I know I want to marry this woman. I want to have a great life. I want to provide more for my family. Those were the bigger things that I wanted to connect my goals to, right? I knew I wanted to be able to provide for my mom if she ever needed anything, my brothers, my sisters. We both have huge families, and being able to do things without looking at the price tag, that's the biggest gift, right? Being able to donate and give back to the Dream Center and give back to different organizations, guys, big picture, that is the thing that we're all looking to do. Because guys, you go out and generate an income you've never generated before, it gets real. Money's money, man. Money comes and goes, right? That 10, 20, 30 families you protect, it's going to get you a decent income. But guys, I promise this thing's more than just, money in your bank account. Connect yourselves to people, connect yourselves to goals, connect this thing to where you and your family are going. But I promise you will reap the benefits if you stick with this. But appreciate you guys' time so much. Thank you again, FFL Sean Mike, for having us on. And we look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thanks, guys.